I'm going to stay with the girl groups for a while now. Today I'm looking at the Chrystals, and they're from New York City beginning in 1961. That's Patricia Wright, Dolores Kennebrew, Dolores Brooks, and Barbara Alston. That was the best known lineup. But there's significant past members, and these were Mary Thomas, Myrna Gerard, Frances Collins, Patricia Pritchard, Lewis and Melissa Grant. Now this is a Phil Spector project. Phil was bi-coastal, having offices in New York City and in Los Angeles. The Chrystals' first hit was There's No Other Like My Baby. Actually, that was the B-side of Oh Yeah, Maybe Baby. Co-written by Spector, and I always think of the evil spy empire from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. when I hear that name, Spector. And, Larry Bates, who probably did most of the creative work. Phil would build his wall of sound around a song, embellishing with a drenching of reverb. That was his contribution. If you didn't count his abuse, maybe that came later, who can say? The recording was made on prom night at the Maxwell Career and Technical High School in Brooklyn, where 3 of the young ladies were students. They were still wearing their prom dresses at the studio, which was not far from the school. The song went to number 20 in 1962. Brill Building provided for the second hit, Uptown. It was an urban song with flamenco guitar and castanets. Carole King provided hit number 3, the controversial He Hit Me, and It Felt Like a Kiss. The Chrystals soon after disowned the song, claiming there was nothing to like about it. Phil Spector turned his attention to a different girl group, Darlene Love and the Blossoms, and changed their name to the Chrystals. The other Chrystals sued. Spector thought the acoustic members didn't make a difference as long as they were thin, African American women. Now that's class. No, it isn't. Phil Spector put together his girl groups, perhaps not just because of their beautiful harmonies, but because of their sex appeal. And that's not very classy in any era. He's a Rebel was offered to and turned down by the Shirelles because of the anti-disestablishment lyrics. This is the song that inspired the Shangri-La's Leader of the Pack. He's a Rebel was the Blossom Chrystals' first and last number 1. The real Chrystals were back in the studio by 63, and the next song was the controversial Let's Dance the Screw, followed by the less controversial The Do Ron Ron, which made the top 6 in the US and the UK. And then He Kissed Me was next. Some success, the Chrystals toured the UK and appeared on Ready, Steady, Go and British TV. Spector, how is he still around? Turned his attention to his Ronettes. LA's answer to the Shirelles and the Chrystals. And the Ronettes sang on 4 songs on a comp called The Chrystals Sing the Greatest Hits. And royalties were again skewed. The Chrystals left United Artists and Spectre. The group disbanded in '67, only to reunite in '71, and they are still active today, but now a trio with Dolores Dee Dee Kennebrew, with Patricia Pritchard Lewis, and Melissa Grant. The biggest Crystal hits were fronted by Lala Brooks, and she owns the trademark. The Chrystals have been in many movie soundtracks. Here are some of them: Adventures in Babysitting, Goodfellas, The Simpsons, Stripes, and on the series Mad Men. Here's the studio albums: 1, Twist Uptown in '62, and 2, He's a Rebel in '63.